Hello, this is Dr. Sunita Kumari, Assistant Professor, Department of Psychology, St. Joseph's College for Women Autonomous, Visakhapatnam. Today we are going to discuss about importance of positive psychology. Today let's talk about something really fascinating, how positive psychology started identifying and organizing what's best in us, our character strengths. Back in 2004, two psychologists Peterson and Martin Seligman set out on a big mission. They wanted to find a way to identify, organize, and measure character in a scientific way. To do this, they didn't just look at modern science, they dug deep into ancient cultures, exploring their religions, politics, education, and philosophies. Why? Because throughout history, humans have always talked about what it means to live a virtuous life. What Peterson and Seligman found was pretty amazing. Across different cultures and time periods, six core values and virtues kept showing up. These are virtues that people everywhere have valued for centuries. They are courage, justice, humanity, temperance, transcendence, and wisdom. These six virtues became the foundation of what's called the values in action. Classification of strengths, a big step toward specifying the positive traits that help people thrive. And here the key point, the BIA is a kind of like the positive psychology version of the DSM, the manual doctors use to classify mental disorders. But instead of focusing on what's wrong with people, the BIA focus on what's right, the strengths and virtues that make life meaningful. So, positive psychology isn't just about fixing problems, it's about understanding and building the very best part of ourselves. DSM focusing on strengths, not just problems. Here, you should know that there's a lot of difference between BIA versus DSM. Today, let's chat about two important tools in psychology that help us understand human experience, but they do it in very different ways. First, there is a DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. It's a big scientific guide used by psychologists and psychiatrists to classify and diagnose mental illness and disorders. The DSM focuses on what's wrong, the deficits, the problems, and symptoms people face. But here is the one thing, psychology has another side called positive psychology, which takes a very different approach. Instead of focusing on weakness, positive psychology asks what's right with people, what strengths do they have, and how can we help them grow. And that's where the VIA classification of strengths comes in. The VIA is a kind of like the DSM's positive counterpart, but instead of cataloging disorders, it classifies positive human strengths like kindness, courage, gratitude, and creativity. The VIA isn't just a list, though, it's also a tool. It has 240 questions that ask you how much certain statements describe you. For example, I know I will succeed with the goals I set, or I regularly stop to count my blessings. By answering these questions, you get a clear picture of your unique character strengths. Why does this matter? Because when you know your strengths, you can focus on building them, help them to grow, flourish, and live a more fulfilling life. So, while the DSM helps fix what's broken, the VIA helps you discover and build on what's best in you. Pretty powerful, right? These are three important strengths are there. First one is forgiveness. According to Bapu, we never forgiveness is the attribute of strong. Let's talk about something important. One is forgiveness. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we hurt others and sometimes we get hurt. When that happens, it's easy for guilt, resentment, and even hatred to take hold. These feelings can weigh heavily on us, leading to pain, self loathing, and broken relationships. But here, the hopeful truth: forgiveness can set us free. Forgiving yourself is a crucial step toward inner peace. It helps you stop carrying the heavy burden of guilt and opens the door to healing. And forgiveness doesn't just heal us individually, it heals our relationships with others and even with something greater than ourselves, like God or a sense of higher meaning. When someone hurts us, whether it's a friend or a family member or even a whole nation, the damage to the relationship can feel permanent. But forgiveness offers a powerful possibility. It creates a chance for the relationship to recover and grow stronger. Forgiveness is deeply pro-social process. It helps us repair trust and rebuild connection. On a larger scale, forgiveness might be the key to peace in the world. As Kelvin said, forgiveness may ultimately be the most powerful weapon for breaking the dreadful cycle of violence. Imagine that if more people, communities, and nations practiced forgiveness, we might find ways to break cycles of hatredness and conflict. So, forgiveness isn't just a nice idea to let go, to forgive, and to open the door to peace. And the next one is gratitude. Next one is the second one is gratitude. Gratitude is a simple feeling that changes everything. Let's talk about something really simple but incredibly powerful. That is nothing but gratitude. Gratitude is that feeling of appreciation, of thankfulness you get when something good happens to you or when you recognize a benefit in your life. And guess what? The science of gratitude has been growing a lot lately and it is showing some amazing things. From childhood all the way to old age, study shows that feeling grateful has a huge range of benefits psychologically, physically, and in our relationships. Researchers like Wood and other psychologists have found that gratitude isn't just a nice feeling, it actually helps us feel better, live healthier, and connect more deep with others. But here, something even more inspiring: gratitude doesn't just make us feel good, it motivates us to do good. When we feel grateful, we are more likely to be kind, generous, and caring toward others. As emotions, a leading gratitude researcher puts it, gratitude heals, energizes, and transforms lives into so many ways. It's like a positive cycle. When practice gratitude, it's rewarding it itself, and it also leads to even more reward in our lives. So next time you pause to say thank you or count your blessings, remember you are not just being polite, you are activating a powerful force that can change your life. Gratitude is truly a gift both to yourself and to the world around you. Gratitude, according to Henry, gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Have you ever noticed how feeling grateful can change your whole day? When people say they feel grateful, thankful, or appreciative on a regular basis, something amazing happens. Not just inside them, but also is how they connect with others. Research shows that folks who practice gratitude tend to feel more loving, forgiving, joyful, and enthusiastic in their daily lives. It's like gratitude opens up their hearts and makes life feel a little brighter. But here is the cool part: is not just about how they feel inside. The people around them, family, Friends, partners notice the change too. According to Emmons, those who practice gratitude are often seen by others as more helpful, outgoing, optimistic, and trustworthy. Imagine that gratitude doesn't just make you feel good, it actually shapes how others see you, making your relationships stronger and more positive. So, practicing gratitude is like a win win. You feel better, and the people around you feel it too. Next time you pause to appreciate something or someone, remember it's not just a small act, it's a powerful way to build joy in your life. How grateful thinking helps us save your life's good moments. Let's talk about something pretty cool, how grateful thinking can help us enjoy life more deeply. When we practice gratitude, it's like we learn to really savor the positive experiences and moments we have. Instead of rushing past them, we slow down and soak up all the good feelings. This helps us get the maximum satisfaction and enjoyment from everyday life. Now, there is a little thing called hedonic adaptation, a fancy way of saying that our happiness tends to go back to a set level no matter what happens. So, even when something great happens over time, we start to take it for granted and our happiness goes back to normal. But here is a trick: counting our blessings can actually fight that effect. When we consciously remind ourselves of the good things in our lives, it becomes harder to just take them for granted. We start see those good things as gifts, and that changes everything. The simple act of appreciating what we have can lift our mood and help us stay happier for longer. So, by practicing grateful thinking, we are not just feeling thankful, we are actually training our minds to hold on to happiness and enjoy life more fully. Try it out. Take a moment each day to notice and appreciate your blessings. It might just change the way you experience your whole day. Next one is humility. Let's talk about something that doesn't always get the spotlight. We often think of humility as just being modest or not bragging, but psychology tells us it's much deeper and actually pretty powerful. As its core, humility is about balance. It is a degree to which we value our own needs without putting them above others. It's not about shrinking ourselves or pretending we are less than we are. It's about seeing ourselves accurately with honesty, not ego. A humble person knows their strengths and their limits. They didn't exaggerate, but they also don't hide what they are good at. They are just real, and that is refreshing. That is refreshing. Humility also touches on how much we chase status, wealth, or recognition. It's closely tied to fairness, modesty, and respect for others. People with humility tend to be goal oriented and oath oriented. They care about the well being of others, not just their own success. And interestingly, they often make better leaders, teammates, and friends because of it. In a world that often rewards self promotion, humility might seem like a quiet quality, but it is one that helps us stay grounded, connected, and honest. So, the next time you think of humility, don't just think modest, think balanced, self aware, and deeply human. Humility is not just thinking less of yourself, it is thinking of yourself less. Humility, the strength that helps us grow. Today, I want to shine a light on a quiet but incredibly powerful strength. Now, we often think of humility as just being modest, but as a character strength, it goes so much deeper. According to researchers, Like Harvey and Powell's, humility is an essential part of moral character. It shows up how we treat others with empathy, respect, and real willingness to see people for who they are. And get this, humility also means being honest with ourselves. It's about accurately recognizing our strengths and our limitations, not downplaying ourselves, but also not inflating our talents or importance. In fact, humility is a kind of the opposite of arrogance or pride. It's not about thinking less of yourself, it's about thinking of yourself in balance and caring enough to grow. That is where growth mindset comes in. In her view, humility is a key to learning and improving. It's not just saying, yeah, I messed up, but saying, what can learn from this and who can I learn it from? Humility is a mindset. It's about being teachable, open to feedback, and willing to course correct when needed. As a journalist Matthew puts it, it's about embarrassing failure as a chance to get better, not something to fear. So, when we talk about character strengths, let's not overlook humility. It's the quiet fuel behind growth, kindness, and lifelong learning. Because in the end, being humble doesn't make us smaller, it makes us stronger. Thank you.